Today we're going to take a look at the Zootopia 2 trailer to see if it was worth the wait that we didn't know we were waiting for. I'm going to roast some of the critics that hated 2014's Paddington. And then finally we're going to play a game, so get ready to blow up the comments below. All that and more on Beanlight Productions. Alright, so here's some history on me and the movie Zootopia. I think Zootopia is a fantastic film. It's way up there with Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen. I never really saw all the way through Moana, but what I did see I really did like. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how the Zootopia 2 trailer matches up with my memory of being exposed to the first Zootopia. You'll remember the teaser for the first Zootopia was just that white screen with all the animals crossing back and forth. It really gave a simplistic Robin Hood vibe to it. Never mind the fact that the main character is a fox and could be the computer-generated version of Robin Hood. Now, obviously, we've seen that time and time again, anthropomorphic animals telling the stories that humans very well could also tell.
Humans never happened.
And then a short while after this teaser, they released the first trailer. The entire trailer was Nick and Judy in the DMV, the last place anybody ever wants to go, and they really banked on this scene to sell us. And damn, did this risk pay off. With the sloth, you're sitting through several seconds of silence, waiting for this sloth to respond to the rabbit and the fox. Now, for those of you familiar with television and broadcasting, in TV time, that is an endless amount of time. That is eternity. To allow that much silence, no less allow that to be the main focus of the trailer. It just shows you how much faith Disney had in this project. So good on them. I do remember as a grown man being sold on the teaser and being sold even more so on the trailer. So let's take a look at the trailer for Zootopia 2 and see if we think this is going to match up to the original.
Welcome to Partners in Crisis. I'm your therapy animal, Dr. Fuzzbee. Greg, we talked about that. What are we making Merlin? Uncomfortable. Yes. And Francine, Clark may be a mouse, but he is your partner first. And we have 2 new partners. Can you tell us about your journey to Dysfunction Junction?
Well, we've been official partners for 1 week. Happy anniversary. And we are functioning fine. Better than fine. And we did sort of save the city. So us being here kind of seems like a huge misunderstanding.
Notice how she answered first, did not allow her partner to speak, and taps
Is that a hamster? I can't tell if it's a hamster.
her foot when she's suppressing discomfort. And observe the source of her discomfort, represented by the disconnected affectation of her emotionally insecure partner. But for now, we begin by greeting our teammate. Okay, unfortunately,
We're a minute in. The silence from that first trailer had you leaning in to see what the punchline was going to be. I'm not leaning in on this. I'm just kind of sitting back and letting it happen, whatever this is. And what's this hamster thing say? She said, or gerbil, whatever. A whole bunch of therapy nonsense that I words that I don't even know. If you're a parent that has watched this trailer with your kids, has this interested them? I'm very curious to know. I know this is going to bore my kids to death. All right, we got another minute and a half, so it can redeem itself. But so far, holy moly.
Karen has chosen to see Joel's smile as a sign of aggression. Hackles down, Karen. Karen, hackles down. Someone get the hose.
So Karen, they're using the name Karen. I don't know if they're doing that ironically or if Disney is so not in touch that they don't know that Karen is, what the name Karen means.
Bunny Fox! This is a make or break assignment. Fail and I will split you up.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
Hops and Wild.
Wild and hops. The dream.
All right, so it looks like they're going to make the snake the big baddie, but I'm sure you just by look at him, he's going to be the good guy. They're going to all team up with him. But I do like the idea of using the snake. They are the most feared animal on the planet. At least for me, I would rather be eaten by a great white shark than to even go near a snake. I cannot do snakes, so we'll see what they do here.
Team. Sorry, Paul.
Right, so that tramp stamp on the hippo is going to be this movie's version of, what was that, like the nudie park, the nudist colony? I guess they're going to give tramp stamps to animals now. Gazelle, they got, okay, so they're just shoehorning all these concepts and all these characters from the original. The great thing about the original was that this was a world, like this was a world that had the potential to expand beyond what we could even imagine. And they're still using the Gazelle character as the singer. Do they not have any other singers, celebrities, pop groups? And then this cheetah guy he was the one looking at the phone. He was funny, but what has he been demoted now to traffic cop? And then of course they gotta bring back the Godfather mole. They're not coming up with new characters. It doesn't look like. That's sad. That's really sad. Or I'm sorry, that's sad.
Stop in the name of the law! I'm really sorry.
No.
Stop pulling my ears. Stop pulling my ears. Never pull up on his ears. I have to help my family. Cannonball!
You know, this is not your worst idea.
Wow, that was almost a compliment.
Your worst idea is what you did with your ears.
All right, I give that trailer a D-. The only thing that saved it from an F was that little jab at the end. I could tell that Nick still has his cool, his suaveness. Judy is still insecure and trying to fit in. So I like that the two main characters still seem to be the same. I hope it's one of those cases where they left all the good stuff out of the trailer. That's the only optimistic view I have of this trailer. Otherwise, it is rough. If they're banking on the whole therapy scene for the first minute of a 2.5-minute trailer, that scene was horrible. It's too reminiscent of like reality. You know what I mean? Like I know the DMV is too, but we don't have to face it every day. Unless you're a really bad driver. Like most people don't have to face the DMV. I haven't been there in like 5 years. So it's a reality that is outside of my existence, which I can appreciate and I can stand at a distance and laugh at. But this whole therapy session, like, are they going to promote good health, better help? What's it going to be? What's the animal version of better help? Bear help? Hair help? I think that just hits too close to a lot of people. And I'm not saying it's offensive. I'm just saying we've already been there, done that all week long. So we don't want to go to the movie to watch a therapy session. Now look. Jared Bush and Byron Howard, they are the directors of the original Zootopia. But back when they did Zootopia, they had John Lasseter at the head. So he was still making all the calls. And now Jared Bush has taken John Lasseter's spot. So I don't know enough about Jared Bush to know where he leans as far as children's entertainment goes. John Lasseter was obviously very careful with what was put in front of kids and families. He was very mindful of that to make sure everybody that went to the theaters to go see one of his movies had a good time, with the exception of Cars 2, of course. So I am willing to give Jared Bush the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, after all, he did the original Zootopia. I don't know how he is as a creative chief officer. I haven't heard enough about him. I just know that he replaced Jennifer Lee, who was literally torching the animation department over at Disney. She wasn't there for long either. It was almost like Bob Iger said, I got to put a female as one of the main heads. Otherwise, they're going to come after me. And I'm an old white rich man. I'm their biggest enemy. So they're going to want to replace me with a female. But they swapped her out real fast for good reason. For good reason. I haven't seen or enjoyed, to my knowledge, any Disney animated movie that was released under her. My kids say they all suck. What has Jared Bush done? He wrote the Dumb and Dumber TV series. Did not know that. He wrote Encanto, Moana 2. It's not looking good. So the only thing I like of his is Zootopia. I thought it was a lot more, but apparently not. He was the creative leadership for Ralph Breaks the Internet. That was a good movie. Same for Moana, Big Hero 6. And I don't know what these roles are that, once these people are bestowed a title in the Magic Kingdom, I don't know what their parameters are and, what their actual job is. At this point, I wonder if they even know what's going on behind the closed gate. No, the trailer looked awful, to be honest. I think it looked horrible. My kids and I, this November, we're going to be seeing Wicked 2. So I'd really like to know what you plan on seeing this holiday season. Does this trailer for Zootopia 2 win you over? Do you even like the first Wicked? I love the first Wicked. I'm going to be talking nonstop Wicked the closer it gets to that release. So so subscribe if you are a Wickedite. I just made that word up, so don't go bragging about that on the streets, unless you want to get kicked in the teeth. All right, so we all remember that cute cuddly bear that the Queen so dearly loved.
You read the book as a child. Then you got the doll. Now your kids can skip the book because there's a movie. And it's about to be a trilogy. Could this marmalade-loving bear be more precious than Winnie the Pooh? Most people think so, except these 5 critics who hated Paddington because they're as stiff as Nicole Kidman's face. So since the critics reviewed Paddington, it's time for us to roast the critics.
In a time when Bob and Harvey Weinstein were proud of advertising their name, even on kids' films, gross, we were still being given memorable and timeless family entertainment, and 2014's Paddington had quite the run for its money. Audiences thought highly of the film and gave a collective score of 80%. Not sure what reason anyone would have to speak ill of this fine film, but maybe the 3% of critics who couldn't bear Paddington will give us a closer look at what would cause someone to not enjoy this totally inoffensive movie. Jeffrey McNabb from Independent, UK, says, if Paddington is to turn into a movie franchise, one suspects that Marmaldi, his spelling error, not mine, one suspects that marmalade sandwiches under hats and scenes of mayhem in kitchens and bathrooms won't be quite enough. Far more attention will need to be paid to the storytelling. I mean, a franchise was born from a group of kids playing hockey. They didn't have to stop playing for the sequels. Doc and Marty had their time machine to return to time and again, and I don't see Jeffrey complaining about that.
Why do we have to cut these things so damn close?
The same goes for Toy Story. They become lost toys in virtually every movie. John Wick still kicked some tutti frutti batootie with gun fu in the sequels, and he never stopped being mad about his dog. I think maybe Jeffrey's idea of a sequel is 10 Cloverfield Lane, where it bore no resemblance to the original monster film. Matt Prigg from Metro says, it's the kind of film too dignified to play Lady Marmalade, but not dignified enough to not play I Got You. I feel good. Oh, good. Matt did exactly what was not required of him. He wrote a review about the soundtrack to the film. Oh, Matthew, you had just one job. One, you only had to watch the damn movie, not read the playlist to the soundtrack off of iTunes. Linda Cook from Quad City Times, Davenport, Iowa, says, Paddington could have used more looking after. What is this devil woman talking about? The Brown family risked everything for him. And as far as looking after the film itself, few movies get the special care and love this one received during its conception and execution. Julio Fernando Navas from Cinema Ecuador says, además de la agradable presencia en pantalla de Sally Hawkins y Nicole Kidman, no hay nada más que pueda destacar de la corriente historia de Paddington. Creo que a Julio le gustan estas mujeres. ¿Y puedes culparlo? Cosa caliente, de hecho. ¿Y sabes qué más? A veces un poco de normalidad en una película es algo bueno.
There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point?
Aprendí a hablar así gracias a Rosetta Stone. No son patrocinadores, pero esto es para mostrarles lo que RTC puede hacer con un anuncio. Contáctame para convertirte en patrocinador. Muchas gracias. Mike Massey from Gone with the Twins says, visually artistic but comparably appropriate for undiscerning, easily diverted viewers. So Mike is saying that if you like this film, then you are a simpleton.
That is extremely rude.
And so yes, 97% of his peers are daft retards, and 80% of his readership are dullards who wouldn't know true art if it sliced a paper cut right up the center of their buttholes. Way to alienate everyone in your circle, Mike.
All right, get out of here! All of you, move it! Come on, let's go!
All right, let's finish up here with the game. I'm going to read a critic's review of a movie, and you then have to guess what movie you think that review is in reference to. I'm going to do 3 of these. They're going to start off easy and get harder with each one. So get your fingers ready, and let's battle it out down below in the comments what you think the answers are. If you know the answer, put it down below. The next one is, although not a horror movie in the strictest sense, the film also introduces us to one of cinema's most iconic final girls. And the last one of the most bold, hilarious, and entertaining biopics in quite some time. If you think you know the answers, put them down below. You can argue them out with other people who comment, and I will reveal those answers in the next video. That's all I have for today. Keep demanding more from Hollywood. He says that Paddington is visually artistic, but comparably. Alright, the last one we have here is Mike Massey from Gone with the Twins. He says that Paddington is visually artistic, but comparably.